Landowners in Monosavu are calling for the Prime Minister to visit them and hear their grievances. They now claim that the compensation case they won against the Fiji Electricity Authority isn't what they originally wanted. Apisalome Doka explains.
Landowners in Monosavu were awarded $52 million as compensation for the Monosavu Dam catchment area in 2005. But the Matangali Navatumba now claim their lawyer Israeli Fa went further than the instructions given to him. Landowners say Fa was hired to seek compensation for the environmental damage from the hydro dam. However, Fa ended up leasing another piece of land to FEA.
Nakisia kaudaki membaleta na claim damage compensation.
The case we wanted was the claim damage compensation. Our concern is when our lawyer changed the case and leased out the only land left for us to be used as catchment areas for FEA.
Nanga alleges they never signed any document agreeing to lease over 25,000 hectares as catchment area.
When we got involved with the Monosavu case in 1998, all compensation issues in relation to land had been attended to by the government. Basically, what I'm saying was that the government had already acquired all the necessary land that they needed to construct the hydro facilities.
The landowners claim they have visited Fa's office a few times to raise their concerns, but was told the lawyer was in a busy schedule. They feel wronged and want the government to step in now.
The only outstanding issue was the water catchment area, because that had not been compensated for. And the standing opinion at that time was that there was no need for compensation of the catchment area because it wasn't being utilized. So to say that that we changed the case is just absolutely false.
Nanga claims the Matangali Navatumba is left with no reserve land. So who is telling the truth here? Has Matangali Navatumba been cheated of its reserve land, or did Israeli Fa just do his job and win them compensation for what they had asked? FBC News has tried to get independent verification of the landowners' claims. We've been calling FEA Chief Executive Hasmukh Patel for 3 weeks now. We've also sent in written questions. All he's willing to say is that it's a confidential matter between FEA and the landowners. FBC News this morning called the Tokay Land Trust Board asking what the lease arrangement is. General Manager Alipati Ngetaki also avoided our questions, saying they've left it to the FEA and Israeli Fa to sort out the landowners' claims. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
The government and ANZ Bank have finally put pen to paper on a $120 million loan for the Fiji Sugar Corporation. Sugar Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says the cash injection will help FSC's reform plans. Eleanor Tarangai reports.
Fiji's sugar industry has been given a lifeline after years of non-performance. The $120 million will have a huge impact on farmers who for years have faced delays in cane payment.
After the establishment of the new finance facility, FSC will have financing on hand to carry out preventive maintenance at the crushing mills and also put in place a system whereby farmers can receive payment for their cane within 2 weeks of delivery to the mills.
He says the loan agreement will also demand that the FSC gets its financial operations in order.
For many years, financial discipline was lacking at the FSC due to a number of unscrupulous individuals, which led to the significant deterioration of the sugar industry in Fiji, especially at the mills. ANZ will now have an input to ensure that proper due diligence is performed before funds are spent.
Repayments will be made by FSC when sugar is exported to our buyers.
It's revolving so that as and when shipments are made, the funds are advanced and then as and when the payments are received from the buyers, the funds are repaid. So it's a revolving facility. It's over 3 years.
The government has also explored landing options overseas before deciding on ANZ Fiji. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Southern Cross Foods Limited has today officially taken control of Fiji Dairy Limited. The government signed over the company in Nandi this morning. Deb Narayan has more.
Fiji Dairy, according to the Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama, has been riddled with problems.
Industry, as you know, has been riddled with problems such as mismanagement, corruption, inefficiency, and outdated infrastructure and technology.
Bainimarama adds with Fiji Dairy becoming a private company, increasing milk production will also be easier.
We will, through various initiatives by them and concomitant incentives by government, focus on increasing local production and capacity.
As part of the agreement, the government has a $2 million guarantee from SC Foods and its directors in their personal right. That guarantee will be covered if conditions of the sale are not met.
We have obviously taken a lot of responsibility and are quite committed to actually grow the industry, and in the process also make sure that all the stakeholders in the industry have a win-win proposition from private sector and a company like Southern Cross.
CJ Patel, who owns Southern Cross Foods Limited, has promised to reduce the country's import bill on milk production. Come December, SC Foods start work on a 350-acre farm in Wandina involving a minimum of 150 cows. It also has to install new chilling centers and modernize machinery and plant. Dev Narayan, FBC News.